Hey everybody, welcome to another vlog. My name is Percy. This is the balance of life, and I want to talk a little bit today about not allowing your past to hinge or sabotage your future. You guys, if you're have watched some of my videos, you know me, um, like music, mostly, like a lot of current stuff, hip hop, whatever, and everything. But when I first moved to Texas, the like chopped and screwed era was in. Everything was slowed, and it was that some songs were actually remade and slow, with a lot of mixing and everything. I really like beats. Personally, I really don't care sometimes what they say. But this one guy, Mike Jones, he came along and he put out one song, and it was come one rap video. It was called Back Then, right? And I kind of want to talk to you guys about back then and how back then can really hamper or even destroy any hopes you'd have on having a good relationship or personal freedom, not feeling so bound down with the things of yesterday that you render today of non effect. You see, for me, since I've had a stroke and everything, it would be easy for me to look back and say, oh, yeah, back then when I could use my arm the way I want to, back then when I could run and I can run up hills and run down and just, get anywhere I want to quickly. Back then, yeah, when I was kind of a ladies' man and women would look at me and say, whoa, and I can respond in kind and never know. A lot of good things could possibly happen. Everything. Yeah, back then. Back then I had hair and a nice smile. And people genuinely liked me and everything, even before they knew me, which was fine. But I'm living right now. And see, sometimes your right now, it won't match up with your back then, only because supposedly you have grown as a person back then. Yeah, it may have been easier to do things, but right now, you can actually do them. Right now, you can actually build the type of life, even if you fell on your face several times. Every time you get up next to the top of the mountain and you grab an unsteady rock, that means some person in your relationship make bad business deals or whatever, and you pull on that rock to try to pull yourself up so you can see what's on the other side. But that rock gives away, and where do you go? Tumbling right back down into the valley. And you say, okay, back then maybe I would have had more strength to do it. But not true. Back then, you didn't have the wisdom and you didn't have the mental fortitude and the strength internally to do what you need to do. See, all your back thens, the reason you think about them so much is because they're inside of you. It's become a part of who you are, a part of your history. And it doesn't say that your back thens aren't important. What back then is an important stepping stone. And hopefully you're not stepping downward and you get into situations and problems worse than you had back then. But maybe you're ascending and you're stepping up and you're actually getting to places that you really want in your life and you can enjoy at a person of your given age. Definitely older than you were back then. Now see some guys, when they get in their 50s, 60s and everything, they're still worrying about women and who loves me and everything. But I would like to say congratulations in this day and age that you actually get to the point of 60 years old. Isn't there something more important that you would like to be doing than worrying about what you used to could do? Back then, hopefully you will. As for me, being in the right now, the here and now, you know, to me, I'm still living my best life. Because even though back then you may have had certain attributes and things going on that's like, wow, I thought I was living my best life then. But if you really look at it, the ability, the time freedom, and everything you have to do anything you want to do, or to continue working to leave the type of legacy you want to leave in life, not just materialistically, um, but in life. I really would like to implore you to look at right now. Look at right now. You may look in the mirror and you may see wrinkles, you may see bags, or what have you. But that young person, and maybe that young person was very idealistic and was a go getter and did certain things and stuff there until they hit one of those shaky stones that they tried to grab onto. And then after that, they treaded just a little bit lighter and a little bit more cautiously. And maybe they have not got to the point where they say, okay, yeah, my life is good again. I want you to really take a look and say, hey, that person is still side of me. Your back then is actually holding up your right now. It's holding up your right now so that you can actually step up on it. Just like I said, like hopefully your life is ascending and not descending. Yeah, we may be on the other side of 50. Okay. You might even start like this year for me, I'll be 61. And now I'm on the other side of 60. But thank God I'm on the other side of it, you know? And I'm not laying up there with my hands crossed and stuff there, maybe entombed somewhere, or burnt to ashes and set in a little urn somewhere. Not yet. See, back then I didn't think about dying because I was like, wow, I'm too young. But with certain viruses going on and people just getting sick and people getting shot like crazy, you know, a young person really is faced with death seemingly more often than not. So maybe as a young person, that is some of their thoughts these days. Thought about not making it. But at my in my time, all I want to do was jump into my Camaro, get with my boys on the weekend. We pick a place to go out, and we party and dance all night long. Throughout that night, we meeting girls, maybe because I was a California kid, and I grew up in California, even though Louisiana is my home. I grew up in California. My parents moved. So with that, I got to enjoy some of the beaches and lifestyles of California, of Californians. You know, um, I was fortunate that I had hardworking parents. And just so long as I did right, I pretty much got or received the things that I desired from at least from my parents. You know, um, Back then was a good time, but now as a grown man and doing things on my own, before I met my wife after my last divorce, before I met my wife, really trying to put this thing together right, and when met my wife and really trying to find out what type of person she would become once she came over here from the Philippines and everything, I really felt that or feel that I have it right, or at least it's going in the right direction. And our lives are full of life, full of love, full of happiness and everything. And we have our times just like anybody else. But even in that, it's okay. Don't throw away a good thing just because you have a moment of misunderstanding. So I don't know who that's for today, but maybe it's for somebody. But if you're looking for a new life, and you decide, hey, I want to go to Asia, somewhere, the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, somewhere over on the Asian continent, Korea, Japan, some of those places there. And a couple of things I would just implore you to do. Understand who you were. Number one, understand who you were back then. And you don't have to be that person. Be who you are right now. Keep that person back then inside of you because he may be able to help you in some instances. But know who you are right now and meet people in the best version of yourself right now that you can be. Number two, some of us, maybe we weren't the nicest people back then. And yes, that person too is also inside of you. So I say when you go to another country, don't allow that person back then to get you put in jail for something that you decide to act on right now. Because the laws are different, people are different, and it's crazy. In Japan, they've had this thing, it's been for years, people touching people on trains and everything. And I don't know where they get it from or who started it or what have you. But if you've seen certain movies or what have you, and you see guys trying to do that type of thing, remember it's only in a movie. You will get put in jail for that and other things, depending on what it is in the country. In the country that you go to, from touching underage girls or you know doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Remember, you're a guest wherever you go once you leave the United States or your parent country. You are a guest. Act accordingly. Push down the guy from back then. If you want different, then be different. Finally, enjoy your life right now as a man or a woman. Enjoy the things that you can do right now. Don't worry about back then. I say for the most of us and people that are watching these vlogs, videos, whatever you want to call them, they may have had a wonderful time back then. This guy really had a hell of a time back then. But that guy's inside of me now. He's part of my past. I love him and I appreciate him for all the things that he's helped me grow into and grow and stay away from. But he has nothing to do with right now. That's this guy of today. This is his job to do not only what that guy did, but also in a better and a more adult way to do it. So, as you know, I don't talk long. I try to give you what I have for you, what I feel what's been given to me for the day. I hope that you guys like it, share it, pass it on, tell a friend. But all of this, because I'm not writing anything down, I may write a title down, but after that, it's all coming from here. And for the 7 years that I did not vlog or write down anything and stuff there, my heart is full. So hopefully you can take this and heed to it, or you can say, hey, this may not be for me, but let me share it to a friend, which I hope you do. Because views are really important, not as far as money. but just to know that somebody's listening. You know, since I started back vlogging, I didn't tell any of my friends or anything because sometimes your friends are the most judgmental people that you can get, unless you have a couple that are really, really honestly critical of whatever you do. You can share it with them and everything if you decide to vlog. But I have all this extra time now, and I feel sitting in front of camera, with a microphone for about 15 minutes a day, it's time well spent. My main goal is to leave a legacy, whether it's on here on YouTube or it's something that maybe my kids can go back to and say, "Whoa, I didn't even know my dad was doing this," because none of them really know right now. But it's okay. And the best gift you can give your children is make them think critically, not have them to walk in the road that you have gone, but to blaze their own trails and to become their own people. That way they get a better understanding of how life works. But also having them call you, which my grown kids, I have kids in their 40s now, the late 30s and early 40s. They call me and they still, ask the old guy for advice. To me, I know that the guy back then, he did a pretty good job and he's helping the old guy of today. And the old guy today is living. Trust me. So God bless you guys. Please like and subscribe. This is Percy, The Balance of Life. I love you guys and talk to you soon.